Welcome to the ETF Inspector. It's Monday, July 7th, about 9 o'clock at night, Eastern Standard Time. And I'm starting a new series, so this will be the first video of its kind. We switched over from YieldMax, I still cover them, but Roundhill. They're 3 0 DTE funds, covered call strategies. They're weekly paying income funds. So they're for QDTE on the NASDAQ, XDTE for the S&P 500, and RDTE for the Russell 2000. And before I go a little further than that, just to let you know, I am on X or Twitter at ETF_Inspector1. I'll let you know when videos are coming out each day. So the plan is these will be Monday through Friday videos as long as they are trading days. These are going to be quicker videos than if you're used to my other ones, so I'm looking to get through these pretty quick. All right, so these are new. They're not new funds, they're just new for my coverage. I am invested in QDTE and XDTE. I do not have RDTE. So just a quick, the Roundhill Innovation 100 0 DTE covered call strategy ETF is the first ETF to utilize 0 days to expiration options as an innovative index fund. So what that means, they're selling stuff that expires same day, right? Reasons why are they've got weekly distributions. So this is similar to ULTI and LFGY. That's why I added these. Nice income potential, and they get to harness the volatility. A little bit lower expense ratio than the YieldMax funds, 0.97. Some people still consider that high. Assets under management, you're looking at 780 million for QDTE. We got 398 million for XDTE and 137 million for RDTE. Okay, so we go down, right? You slide down their page, you can download their holdings and then also download their intraday trades. So that's what I've done, but they're a little bit ugly. Let's see, I don't have a holdings still open, so I'll show you. Not great to look at. So I take that and I turn it into this. Okay, make it a little bit prettier. So we'll start with QDTE. Previous declaration was on the 1st. They paid out almost 23 cents. They go out 6 decimal points, but I won't read them all off. Next declaration is on Wednesday the 9th. That's 2 days away. The NASDAQ 100 has a 30-day IV of just about 18%. I haven't been able to see any interviews or anything like that with the fund managers to see if their goal is to try to pay out the 30-day IV similar to YieldMax funds, or if that doesn't really have anything to do with it. But their last one was 33.8%, and maybe that's just because they paid out what they made. So we'll learn as we go on these. But like I said, net assets 786 million. There's 22 million outstanding shares. So the NAV and the price at close are fairly close to each other. So that NAV isn't going to update until tomorrow morning's holdings download. So it will go down. So it'll probably be a lot closer to the price of QDTE. The NASDAQ 100 went down 0.79%, whereas QDTE went down 0.71%. And what they have here is they have deep in the money calls, right? You can see closing price in the 22,000 range. They have calls for 1850. Some of these are really odd, so I'm going to be learning as I go. 2416, 1947, 25, 2177, and 2250. So obviously they have huge price tags to go with them, and huge values. So these holdings are what they end up selling calls off of, because they own these. These aren't sold calls, these are purchased calls. And then I just separated the options from the government obligation funds. They actually keep, instead of buying the different treasuries, they put their money in their own Roundhill treasury T-bill ETF, so helping themselves out. And then cash and other, it's actually a negative. So if you care about the weightings, of each. That's right there. So we take a look. They made one trade today. All right, they sold. We need to make this a little bigger. A 22,840. Collected 1742 per share on 348 contracts. That's 100 shares per contract. Comes out to a profit of 606,216. So we look 22,840. It closed at 22,685. Those expired worthless, and so that was a win for the day. Next, we'll take a look at XDTE. This is the one for the S&P. Again, very deep in the money. 540, 607, 600. They've got $5,000, between $5,000 and $6,000 values per share on those. So that's where the majority of the money is. A little bit in the government funds and T-bills, and a little bit in cash, $4 million and change. Like we said, $400 million net assets, 9 million outstanding shares. And again, so it went down today. So when the NAV updates with tomorrow's holdings download, that'll drop as well. So they'll be close. But it dropped a little less than the S&P, 0.79 compared to 0.72. All three declare weekly on Wednesdays. 30-day IV of the S&P is a little lower than that for the NASDAQ. Their most recent distribution was 24, almost 25 cents. And so we look, S&P closed at 62.29.98. They had sold for 62.70, 62.29. So that's a win. Those expired worthless. They collected $4.98 a share on 645 contracts, which resulted in a $321,000 win for the day. And finally, the Russell 2000. Their last distribution was 25, almost 26 cents. That's about almost 40% annually. Declaring on Wednesday. IV of the Russell 200 around 21.5%. As with the other funds, the fund dropped a little less than its actual underlying, 1.55% compared to 1.39. Once these calls drop that percentage with tomorrow morning's update, this NAV will drop a little closer. So you're not really paying a premium to buy it. You just get to buy it for what it's worth. Deep in the money calls again. And I didn't mention it on the other ones, but you could see it. But some are sold out till September, others till December, and then these are to the following March, 210, 241, and 188. So I still got some learning to do. This is the first day, and I just wanted to hit the ground running since it's a Monday, trying to understand these weird strike prices. So here's your, they're worth almost little over $2,000 each on those, and then they sell calls off of them. What'd they sell today? A 2240 call, 2,240. It ended at 2,214, so they expired worthless, out of the money. Collected $3.23 on 628 contracts. That was a win of $202,000 on the day. All right, 4 million outstanding shares, roughly 140 million managed in this fund. All right, so just keeping it short and sweet. There's all your information for the day. Come back tomorrow and I'll give you some more. Have a good night.